What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, and a lot of people be asking me about the drama in Chicago. You want to know something I'm always asked about? A lot of people are always asking me about rappers, Chief Keef, Lil Durk. I mean, I can be with anybody, and somebody will see me and say, "Hey, what's up with King Von? What's up with Durk?" You know, I guess they know I'm a real drill historian, and I understand it, so I don't get upset or anything like that because I understand it. But you know, something I'm always asked about is not about rappers and shit. It's about situations and things. People always ask me, and no matter where I'm at, they always ask me, how did the shit in Chicago get like that? What were some of the first shots in the war in Chicago? That's kind of hard to pinpoint because a lot of this shit been going on for generations and a lot of the beef is inherited. You know, I'm going to tell you something that might throw you off. A lot of these rappers who diss each other and diss their dead homies have never met each other. Never seen each other before. They just know that it's beef with these communities through this rap shit. A lot of people tell me that there's no such thing as a BDK, GDK war. It's just young niggas in certain neighborhoods that's doing bullshit and hiding behind the mob. That's what I was told, you know, when I speak to people, you know, off camera and shit like that. I try to think back, you know. A lot of people say JoJo. That's the rapper who lost his life. I done heard Blair Holt, too. That was a little while ago. He actually lost his life on a CTA bus in Chicago while leaving the school. Some people ran up on the bus. Guess they saw they op and got the blicking and shit like that, you know. And he ended up losing his life due to gun violence. Sad situation. I heard that was a real good young man. I was also told that he tried to protect someone that he cared about, too. But when you think back in this, you got to understand, you know, the killings and the murders been here for a while. A long time ago in the 90s, the 80s, we were averaging like 700, 800 murders. So let's not act like it's just been going on now. I do think the cell phones have caught a lot of it. While they were looking at Chief Keef blowing up, they were looking at Lil Durk blowing up, they were looking at G Herbo and them rapping the drill rap. But when the camera was focused on them, it looked behind their back. They seen young people down, smoking dead ops, mothers crying, murders at an alarming rate. It was crazy, you know what I'm saying? But if you think back, you know, this culture always been on, even when they locked up the gang members and tore down the projects because the murder rate was rising. It was going on before then. A lot of people target the area in the 90s and in the 80s. I like to target the areas around the 70s. I know that's a long time before me and before a lot of you guys, but I believe like in 1970, you have a guy that's by the name of David Barksdale. He was like the leader of the Black Disciples. We all know Larry Hoover, the leader of the Gangster Disciples. What a lot of people don't know is those guys kind of ran areas in the famous Englewood community in Chicago, the community that kind of speaks for the violence. But I don't want to just say them because it's a lot of violent communities, so I'm not being disrespectful to the people in Englewood. But what I'm saying is that that community has been affected by a lot of the gun violence and the beast for a long time. A lot of the leaders and shit come from those areas. You know, David Barksdale had an attempt on his life, I believe, in 1970, I want to say. He was leaving out of a bar in Englewood, allegedly on the streets, and in documentaries and shit, they say the leader of the Black Stones did that. I don't want to incriminate anyone, but that's in a lot of documentaries that's out, so that's public record that's out in the streets, so I'm able to tell you guys that. I want to be transparent too. I don't want to lie. I don't want to hide the information. I got to be honest with you guys. You guys support me, so I got to be honest with you guys, in my opinion. I think, you know, when he had an assassination attempt on his life, he was leaving out a bar. People came through and started blinking and shit, and he was hit several times in his body. He didn't die. He actually survived that. I believe in 1973, him and Larry Hoover merged their gangs together. You know, I was hearing that David was tired of all the bloodshed and kamikaze commotion shit that was going on in his community. So they merged these gangs, which had a lot of other small gangs merged within them. So they merged the gangs together, I believe in 1973. A year later, sometime in 1974, David Barksdale passed away. He died. He lost his life due to the complications from that assassination attempt he had years earlier, you know. What a lot of people didn't know was there was like a truce on the street between like the Stones and the Black Disciples and shit like that. That assassination attempt on David Barksdale ended that. That ended that. The war was back on. The street shit was back on. There was a lot of talks about he was backdoored and all kind of things like that, you know. I believe that's the beginning. If not the beginning, that's like in the beginning of the war and shit that was cracking off. Chicago always had this gang culture going on. I'm not sure if people know that. It was an alarming rate in the 70s too. You know, that's kind of covered up and shit. They don't really speak on that because it's more marketable selling you the drill culture. But it's been a culture of death going on out here in the city for a long time. I'm going to fill you in with a little more information about that because a lot of people be asking me to go back in the day and talk about a lot of shit that kind of formed the drill culture and shit like that, you know? So we're going to be digging in a lot of that, giving you profiles from things back in the day and a lot of that information. But I appreciate the love. Like I say, y'all are dope, man. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. So I'm going to make sure I be transparent and accurate with this information because you tell to be a little inaccurate sometimes. I got to make sure I be accurate. And I see the news. We trying to keep it pushing. We respect the culture. We trying to learn in the culture. I hear everyone. I see the bloggers on the internet throwing shots at truth teller, but I'm not going to throw shots back because everybody are my brothers. We all blog brothers, man. I respect anybody who stuck their hand in their pocket, pulled out a cell phone, and made a lane out of that shit. You know, if that's what you do to support your family, I support you guys, even if some of you don't support me. And I see the bloggers who be talking crazy. I done seen things about my mother, too, that kind of threw me off. I'm not going to dabble into it. I done said that before. My mother lost her life about a year ago due to health complications. You know, that shit still rubbed me the wrong way. I ain't all the way healed from that shit, you know. So if some of you bloggers out here can cut that shit out, you know, cool. You want to diss me? I'm a lame. I'm a chump. I ain't about that life. You the toughest dude on earth and you big and bad. Cool. I give it to you. I don't want to beef with nobody. All y'all my brothers. Just cut the disrespect of my mother out. I think that's going a little too far. I understand this blog shit is entertaining, but we're not going to, we're going to leave that alone. And, I see everything. We're trying to push the culture. I see everybody talk about Wani with the blicks in the videos. Yeah, you know, to be 100% honest with you guys, I wasn't really feeling that either. You know, we did it. That was our third interview. I learned from that. You know, I learned from a lot of things. I'm fresh in the culture. You know, we all make mistakes, you know. You feel me? You know, but we learning from that. But I want you guys to understand something, too. This is the drill culture. This is a drill platform. It's going to be a lot of crazy things that's going to be happening on the drill platform. This is not church. I want you guys to understand that, you know. It's things that need to be censored, and I'm going to make sure I be on it to make sure I censor what needs to be censored because I know what needs to be censored. You know, some things slide through, some things get through, but I'm on it. You know, I'm going to make sure I be on it. But I want you guys to understand, you know, this is a drill platform. You know, you're going to see blicks. You're going to hear cussing. You're going to hear certain things. I'm going to make sure that I try my best to do it where it's a little more tasteful than a lot of the other shit, though, man. But I want you guys to rock with me, man. I appreciate the love. We're on our way to 70,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Y'all are some awesome people. I didn't do that. Y'all did that, man. I got something special for you guys too soon we hit it, man. But I appreciate the love. Keep the donations to yourself. It's hard out here. You don't got no time giving me the donations. Have you looked out the window lately? Don't you see the weather changing? You got to change them shorts and them t-shirts up. You got to get them some long sleeve shirts now. You got to go get them some pants with the rips in them. When you pick them up from school, you got to go get them the chips with the cheese and the meat. They like the peppers in them. And they want little pops now. They want that little dollar Sprite. They want that 20 ounce. They don't want that 50-cent juice no more. You know? That money you want to get at me, man, on some cash app shit, I'm okay. Take that money and give it to the shorties, man. I'm a grown man. I'll figure it out. If you want to support me, I'm going to show you exactly how you do it. You pull your phone out like this. You take your other hand. They got that finger on it right here. You hit that like button. Bing. Guess what happens when you hit that like button? It make my videos grow, and a lot of people be able to see them. I appreciate the love. It's the homie Truth Teller, the Street Reporter. Bleh, 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 bleh.